Now, there's no doubt in saying that it is a fact that Anakin Skywalker is by far one of the most fan-favorite characters out of the entire Skywalker saga, and that a lot of Star Wars fans have always wanted to see the return of Anakin in the sequel trilogy by Disney and Lucasfilm. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, one thing about Anakin Skywalker is that we do know that he's a very important figure in the Star Wars universe. There's no denying this. We've seen that he was a very important figure because it all started with Anakin. He is the very person who becomes Darth Vader, rules the galaxy, and then later on redeems himself, brings an end to the Sith, or so we thought at the time, until Palpatine would return. Now, the thing about Episode 9 here is that we do know that this movie had a very tough production. I don't know if you guys knew this, but Kathleen Kennedy talked about this, J.J. Abrams, Chris Terrio, Mary Ann Brandon, the editor of the film, explained that the entire movie, from start to finish, was a very tough production. Not just the scheduling, but also exactly what they had to do technically for this movie between the actors and the actresses and the visual effects and the storyline and everything related to it in that sense. So everything that Disney and Lucasfilm went through was a big challenge for them to actually get this movie done, and I think it's one of the main reasons as to why it does in fact feel convoluted or rushed within the first two acts of this movie. Now, the thing that really stands out to me the most here is, of course, everything related to the adjustments that led to a series of deleted scenes. Now that both Disney and Lucasfilm are finished with the Skywalker saga and are moving on to other projects, they are primarily focused on their new Star Wars trilogy, as well as their new Star Wars universe. Now, it's noted that The Rise of Skywalker went through many adjustments during the months of August, September, and October during 2019 when the reshoots were actually taking place, and that this was initiated by Kathleen Kennedy. Now, it's noted that this change led to a series of deleted scenes, one of which included Anakin Skywalker's Force Ghost, portrayed by Hayden Christensen, that was going to show up in one of the scenes during the second act of the film. Now, it's noted that this scene was going to take place over in the netherworld of the Force, where Rey would actually be given the opportunity to witness the Force ghosts of the past. It said that Anakin Skywalker was going to shapeshift first as his younger self and then into his older design, before Rey's eyes, teaching her a lesson about Palpatine and warning her about his manipulative ways. Now, it said that after this sequence, Kenobi's ghost would then appear as well in front of Rey. That was going to be a mixture between Alec Guinness and Ewan McGregor, speaking to Rey while he would stand next to Anakin Skywalker. It's noted that the actual netherworld of the Force held a blue hue color, with the environment consisting of a series of floating boulders with fog below, where the Force Ghost would stand on. The scene was going to have a brand new theme by John Williams that was going to be a new Skywalker theme meant for Anakin Skywalker. However, the theme was never complete at the scene, as the scene was actually cancelled during reshoots by Lucasfilm, as Kathleen Kennedy wanted a different tone for the second act. So, the thing about Episode 9, like I say, Anakin Skywalker, this really was a missed opportunity. This was their last opportunity to bring him back at the very minimum of a Force Ghost, at least. And what they really missed here is that this would have really served a great purpose for the Skywalker saga, where not only would we have learned about the netherworld of the Force, which, by the way, is explained to consist of a blue hue, let's talk about the netherworld. So, the netherworld was actually supposed to be a big theme for this movie. It was supposed to be one of the big environments, a new realm, if you will, that was going to be explored. We do know that Colin Trevorrow was going to do something similar to that, and you can see where J.J. Abrams was getting those ideas from, but that was ultimately cut. And it seems like that Kathleen Kennedy saw what J.J. Abrams was using from Colin Trevorrow's script and decided to cut that. And honestly, Colin Trevorrow, you know, there are a lot of points in his script that are far better than Episode 9 that we have today. You know, Duel of the Fates really sounds like a very interesting movie. In his script, by the way, I don't know if you guys knew this, but there was no Palpatine, there was a different character. So, when we look at the fact here that there was going to be a segment between both Anakin and Kenobi communicating with Rey, and how they were both going to be in their older designs. Now, the thing about this is that this shape-shifting ability, where the Force Ghosts would be able to appear young and then slowly turn into their older selves, that's interesting. I don't know if you guys like that idea or not, but to me it's a very interesting concept by JJ. I think it most certainly is a way for JJ to really evolve the concept of Force Ghosts and what they're able to do in the Star Wars galaxy. We've seen that Rian Johnson gave Yoda the ability to use lightning on the tree. And then, of course, in Episode 9, what they actually wanted to do was they wanted to evolve the Force Ghost more so, where they're able to really give Rey the strength that she needs to take on Palpatine. So, both Anakin and Kenobi having that ability of, you know, really transforming themselves into their older selves would have been interesting to see, because it would have given us, I guess, a different version of those characters, a different take on both Anakin and Kenobi, while also giving us our favorite designs beforehand. So it was kind of like a balance of really kind of just delivering that. So with that being said, guys, you know, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Gun in hand, we are alone again. No, I'm not the one from night.